guys, welcome back again. I'm really excited about this particular recipe. Today, I'm actually gonna pull up a chair. You probably won't see my face on this episode of Weight Gain Wednesday, but I'm gonna be really quick. This is a really quick, fast, and easy vegan recipe for banana bread. So I'm gonna show you the ingredients and then we're gonna get started. So right here I have a half a cup of raisins. Usually any bread recipe will call for butter or eggs, and I've decided to use olive oil instead of butter. And then instead of eggs, we're actually gonna use peanut butter. And so you'll need the same amount of peanut butter as you would need in like 2 whole eggs. We're doing a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, and you can actually a teaspoon of baking soda, and then you're gonna need 2 teaspoons of baking powder as well, which we have all mixed right in our sugar. So this is 1 cup of sugar with 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We're also going to be using a cricket powder instead of regular granulated all-purpose flour, which is like your white flour. So cricket powder, if you guys are not familiar with, is cricket the insect. And so the crickets are usually farmed in a sterile like farming facility. They're grown, they're raised from babies. They get dried out or toasted, and then they get ground up into powder. And so yes, we will be consuming insects, I guess, and it's the whole cricket all ground up into powder. So you'll need 2 cups of regular all-purpose flour, or if you want to go to cricket powder, you can get this on Amazon.com. You can just type in cricket powder. There's all different variations. There's different brands and stuff that you can look through as well. So this is 100% pure cricket. It's all natural, high in protein, and it's sustainable, meaning it's good for your digestive tract. You're also going to need a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna throw that right in there as well. Let's actually get this whole thing started. So with the olive oil, ooh, if I can open it, hands are slippery. All right, yeah, so with the olive oil, and I just wanna actually show you the bananas I'm using as well. So the bananas I'm using today are, they're very dark bananas. I don't know. I just prefer to let the bananas kind of ripen to a point where they're pretty much like mushy. Like, you know, like you can like kind of split it open and it has like a consistency of like yogurt. So that's just what I like to do. The bananas that tend to be like this tend to be sweeter as well. And so that's something that is just my preference. You can use regular ripe bananas if you'd like. Just make sure you're not using a banana that's still green, and you should be okay. But really quickly, we are going to go ahead and oil this pan so that when we pour the batter in, it doesn't stick. Like I said, we're not using butter, so we're gonna go ahead and put a tablespoon of olive oil. We do have a half a cup of raisins as well. We're gonna go ahead and throw in there. Woo, just dropped that. Some people tend to use walnuts or any type of nut or anything that you can add. You can do that as well. We're gonna put the sugar in there. So for every 2 cups of flour, you're gonna need 4 bananas. So if you want it to have this recipe, you'd need 1 cup of flour and a half a cup of sugar and just 2 bananas, which I probably should have done. Actually, I think that's what we might do. I don't know. Should I? No, we'll just go ahead and do the whole thing. All right. Throw that in there. That in there. This right in there. actually. The cricket powder is like, I guess, the funnest part for newbies. But gonna go ahead and put our peanut butter in there. Like I said, the peanut butter needs to be equivalent to the amount of eggs you're gonna use. So you're gonna use 4 bananas and 2 cups of flour and 1 cup of sugar. You're gonna need 2 heaping tablespoons of peanut butter. If you're gonna just use 1 cup of flour and a half a cup of sugar, then you'll just need 1 heaping tablespoon of peanut butter. And so this right here, I'm not sure if I showed you guys. This is homemade country strawberry jam. And that is gonna go right on top after this comes out of the oven. So for cricket powder, if I can get this thing open. All right, you need 2 cups of the cricket powder. Now you're gonna do the 1 cup first. This is, this will come in the package as well. This is just to keep it fresh. So like, prevent it from like molding or anything like that. So that's 1 cup. Kind of looks like brown sugar. I usually use brown sugar when I do this recipe, but I'm working with what I have right now. So we're not doing that today. Regular old white sugar. If you have a potato masher, you can use that as well. And I actually happen to have a potato masher. This is a potato masher. So it's good to kind of get it going, but then eventually you kind of want to use the whisk. As you can see, it's kind of getting like creamy. And I did not add any water to this. This is literally just the bananas working their way into the rest of the ingredients. So with a little elbow grease, and really get in there and make it saucy. See how it's kind of livening it up there. Oh, one other thing. If you are allergic to peanuts, you can also use applesauce as a substitute for eggs or butter. I don't know if anyone from the country has like had like applesauce pound cake, but it's like very popular. We are going to go ahead and pour that right in our pan here. And when you're all done with that, wipe this off. It's gonna go into the oven at 350 for about 40 to 50 minutes. So you do want to make sure it's kind of even. Some people like to put all their bananas in, which is what I've done. Some people like to put 2 bananas into the batter and then slice up the bananas and make kind of like a decorative little whatever on top. I am actually going to add more raisins to the top of mine. And we're gonna call it a day. Well, not really. I'm gonna wait for this to bake. And then, yeah, we'll do the country jam right on top of that. This looks really good. So we're gonna put this in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. And I already made this jam a couple weeks ago. It is a preservative, so anything that is a preservative, if you guys are not aware, can be kept for up to a year if you preserve it properly. I haven't because I like country jam and I use it often. But I didn't show you how I made this, but I'm gonna tell you how I made it. It's really easy. You pretty much buy strawberries or go pick strawberries if you have that luxury. And put them in a pan on your stove. So like, I guess a pound of strawberries, about this many strawberries, to 1 cup of sugar. It is country jam, so it's really sweet. So you're gonna use a pound of strawberries, so about this, like 2 of these, I guess, which is, my hand is, I don't know. That'll go on the stove in a pan, in a saucepan with sugar. You're gonna slice the strawberries up and mix the sugar in at the same time, and then you can put like a little bit of water just to keep it from burning. You want to use as little water as possible. Like, the water is only to prevent the strawberries or the sugar from burning to the pan. And you want to just bring it up really high until the sugar melts, and then you want to turn the heat off and kind of just let it sit there. And you want to stir it consistently. Do not let it sit because it will burn. And that's just country jam, and it'll be ready when the bright red strawberries turn this very, very, very deep color. That's when it'll be ready. What color is this? This is like blood red. So when it turns this dark red, that's when you know it's ready. And with the potato masher, that's how I sliced the strawberries, and then I just kind of like mashed them as I went, or as they were heating on the stove. Okay, so the thing about cricket powder is it's not a grain necessarily. And so things that you bake with cricket powder don't necessarily like puff up like a bread, or well, this obviously is a bread, but like a pastry, I guess, because it's insect powder, I guess. So you're gonna get more of like a doughy brownie kind of finish. And this actually turned out perfectly. It's so moist, and oh my God. Oh, this is so good. It's really good, actually. And cricket powder also has like a more grainy texture. So it'll kind of have like, I don't know. See, Kiki's already like really excited. It'll kind of have the consistency of, I don't know how to explain it. It's like comparing oatmeal to grits. So like, they're kind of the same kind of concept, but you can definitely tell the difference between grits and oatmeal. So that's the difference between getting cricket powder or insect powder. They do have you can get ant powder too, and flour. So what I'm actually gonna do is, let me get this piece out of the middle. It's like really doughy and crummy. But you can see there, It's like brownie texture. Put that on that plate there, and it's so warm and gooey. Probably should have used a knife to cut, but we didn't do that. And this jam, let me get a fork actually. Country jam. Country jam. Homemade. Oh my gosh. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. But this is gonna go right on top, like a glaze. You can even do like a little design on the side of the plate if you want to do like a little swirl, do like a little swerve. If you think you classy enough for that. Obviously I messed that up, but yeah, let me try to make it look a little. I'm being so messy right now. This would have turned out aesthetically different and more pleasing had I used butter, eggs, and flour. So the reason why I chose to use cricket powder is because for digestion purposes, it's just better for the body. Anything that is like a byproduct of animal, like egg or butter, or even like a gluten, like flour, binds together. So had I used egg, butter, and flour, this would have been like a perfect square, and it would have just been like picture perfect, right? But the thing about the body is, and why people tend to be a little bit more healthy, not quotations, but technically quotations, is because it's easier for the body to break down organic matter, and cricket is technically an organic matter, and so is flour as well. But the grain, if you think about grain like a blade of grass, it's stiff. I can't really explain it too much. It's more difficult for the body to break down a byproduct of an animal or mammal, something that has growth hormone embedded into its flesh, than it would be for a plant matter or something like an insect. So, and insects don't grow fat, so their vertebrae is pretty much, they don't have muscle either. So like their flesh is not flesh, it's just air, and their, what would be their bones are actually hollow inside. So yeah. So this is really good. I'm actually going to take a bite of this. Oh, they're so sweet. Oh my gosh. But I will see you guys next week for the season finale. Or this might be the season finale. I'm not sure. I don't know. But yeah. Okay. Bye. Yeah.